live on this Tuesday. Here we are. We're LIVE Live. What's up, YouTube fan? What's up to new subscribers? My name is Clay Kane. We're over here on Sirius XM Urban View, channel 126. Make sure you subscribe. This is my girl, Reecie Colbert. Make sure you support us, and y'all make sure you get her game. In the previous hour, we're live. Previous hour, folks called in saying, yo, I'm down and out. I'm stressed out. Get this game, damn it. If you want some joy, mitrippinggame.com. Get this game. Get this game. It's going to be a good time. It's always a good time. And Reecie, we are getting ready to take over Houston, Texas on Saturday. I am so excited. It's going to be a good time. If you want to get your tickets now, get your tickets at clayandreecielive.eventbrite.com. You've got tickets available. It's going to be lots of joy. We're going to have a surprise guest there. We're going to do a dating thing, a dating scenario. It's going to be super, super fun. Reecie, explain the dating shenanigans we're going to do with Clay and Reecie Live Beyond the Mic.
Okay, it's a lot of people that are going to be single and ready to mingle at Beyond the Mic. And so we have a no pressure, very easy way to participate in signaling to people that you are a single. So when you check in, there will be wristbands for people who want to signal to people that they are single. So if you are a heterosexual, you can get a purple wristband. You don't have to get it if you don't want to participate. You can get a purple wristband. If you are not heterosexual, then you can get an orange wristband. So that way it's very, very clear who's swimming in what pool. You know what I'm saying? And then that way, you know, it could just be an icebreaker. It could be something that people can use to strike up conversations and hopefully get to know some people.
Somebody said to me, they said, what about the sapiosexuals? I said, listen.
What's a sapiosexual?
I forgot. Like, I was like, listen, y'all got to work through that. That's we doing purple and orange, baby. That's all we doing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, get your orange and then explain your situation. Okay, it sounds like you need to be in the orange section.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's intended to be very, very, easy. Not all super in your face. Okay, it's not going to be like a meat market in the sense of. It's no pressure. If you don't see nothing that you don't like, just go ahead and cover up that wristband. You can take the wristband off. Okay, you like, look, ain't nobody in here in my cup of tea.
Let me just might find a date, and you could talk, you might find a date like 30, 40 minutes in, getting a little drink. You found your date, pop it off. You got a date for the evening. You just never know what's going to happen.
Well, I don't know about that, Clay, because why would you want to, if you single,
keep your options open?
You need to keep your options open because somebody might come in late. You might see somebody at the bar. You might see somebody during the meet and greet. But, yes, you can take your wristband off at any time, and if you are approaching somebody, make sure that you keep it cute and you keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? No means no. If people ain't interested, keep it moving. Don't be sitting up there with bad attitude, giving us bad reviews. Okay. But everybody is always very nice at Beyond the Mic. Anyway, it's always been a very welcoming environment. It's not about hooking up per se. So no matter what you're going to
hook up either. Live your life. Ain't nothing wrong. Live your life.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with hookup. Look, we've had some hookups at Beyond the Mic. We've had several hookups. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just intended to be a very fun, light thing. Nothing too serious. Just to give people a little bit of the shot of feeling more comfortable. Because what we do, we always have people coming up to us, during the meet and greet and being like, oh, such and such was cute. Oh, I had my eye on such and such, or it was a lot of good looking people, but nobody hollered at nobody. So this is the way to kind of break the ice and make it less pressure and less intimidating to, talk to somebody.
Merged our names together. Look at that.
See? I have never seen that. That is hilarious.
There are a few new subscribers that say they've commented, oh, I love this husband and wife couple.
Oh,
I'm flattered that y'all would think that would be my wife, but it's not husband and wife couple, y'all.
That is hysterical. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, new people come on. They don't know. They just subscribe because they saw a video or something. What's up, new subscribers?
Well, I've had somebody, somebody on my Instagram say, well, they were another person. People, you talking shit to people on Instagram and then they go look at your page and they look for dirt. And I had said in the comment that I was married. And so they came to my page and they're like, well, you got this other man all over your page that ain't your husband. And I'm just like, yeah, bitch, because we're freaking, we're partners. Like, hello.
We're radio hosts on the
Yeah,
same.
we're radio hosts. So duh, that's why he would be on my page. But people always want to make
Somebody at the White House one time, our last time at the White House, well, at least my last time, they're like, I love seeing you and your wife together. I said, that's not my wife. I go, I'm sorry. They we're on Sirius XM. It's like Reecie and I have branded ourselves. We have put a brand up, right? Ain't no wrong with the brand now. Ain't nothing wrong.
No, it's not. It's not. Well, Ashford and Simpson, were they married?
They were.
So maybe that caused
we like Janet and Michael. That's
Janet and Michael.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We ain't Janet and Mike. Y'all, we just looking for a duo. That's what it is.
There we go.
We like Marvin and Diana Ross. That's too old school. But anyway, Beyond the Mic is a good time. Get your tickets. The link is in there.
Yeah.
Reecie, what I love, before we went to the break the previous hour, you said you want to come on and you want to break down the ways that Trump and MAGA are not winning.
Right.
Because everybody thinks Trump and MAGA are winning and taking over. And there are some disturbing things that are happening, sure. But please, let's give people some breakdowns on how there have been several losses, which give you some optimism that, you don't always hear about when they lose. You only hear about when they do their bizarre bullshit, wannabe dictator shit. But explain how there have been some wins and there have been some things that we should highlight.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just not going to be comprehensive. I'm just going to talk about what's happened in the past week. Donald Trump has declared war on our cities, and the mechanism from which he is using to declare war is the National Guard, where he tried to unilaterally, over the objection of Governor J.B. Pritzker. People are like, well, what is J.B. Pritzker doing? J.B. Pritzker has been on top of his shit, as well as Mayor Brandon Johnson, which that's going to be another win I'm going to talk about in a second. You probably talked about this already, Clay. But the courts and an actual Trump-appointed judge blocked Donald Trump being able to send the National Guard into Portland, as well as blocked sending the California National Guard over the objection of Governor Gavin Newsom into was it Illinois? I think, he was trying to send California National Guard into Illinois. That was blocked by a judge. And so he has been getting shut down by the courts. There was reporting in, I believe it was Politico I was reading yesterday. It could have been Washington Post, one of those outlets, where they were saying that this administration is prepared to negotiate over this these Affordable Care Act, Obamacare subsidies. They are prepared to start to try to make a deal on healthcare. This is the reason why the Republicans shut down the government, is because they wanted everybody's healthcare to astronomically skyrocket by cutting off these subsidies. And so, it doesn't always feel like we're winning, because it's the bad things that they do get so much attention, rightfully so. But there have been multiple times, even in the past week, where they have had to reverse course, or it's looking like they're going to have to reverse course. And then the other thing, it's not necessarily a direct Trump loss, but Mayor Brandon Johnson, he has, with his authority as the mayor of Chicago, declared city property and businesses who are unwilling to provide staging zones. He's declared it illegal for ICE enforcement to use city property and private businesses who object as staging zones. So that is incredibly important, because we do have a federalist society where there is different power vested at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. And so, yes, no ICE zones. And so this is a huge way that Donald Trump is meeting resistance. And so it's not all lost. You need people like a Mayor Brandon Johnson, like a Governor J.B. Pritzker, like a Governor Gavin Newsom, like Governor Westmore, and Mayor Brandon Scott in Baltimore, who made it very clear: do not bring that shit over here. Do not try to bring the National Guard in here. We ain't going for it. So that kind of a pushback has been helpful. And we've had they've lost so many lawsuits around what they've tried to do with mass firings. And there are some lawsuits that they've won, don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of ways that this administration has run up against the courts. The Supreme Court lets them do whatever the fuck. They did not let him immediately remove Lisa Cook, I should add, for the Federal Reserve. They are going to hear the case in full, but because they didn't now allow Trump to immediately remove her, she still sits on the Federal Reserve. So we cannot think that they are only winning. They're winning some, they're losing some. And one more thing with Disney and Jimmy Kimmel. You know that there is nothing more that Donald Trump would have loved than to see Jimmy Kimmel forever taken off air. He's back because people rose up and they said, I'm canceling my shit. Go to hell, Disney, Hulu, all that stuff. I'm canceling it. And so we have considerable power. We're seeing in Chicago where we saw people come to the aid of a person who was being kidnapped by ICE, and they ran ICE off. So there is resistance happening. They are not winning every single battle. And that is why it's important that we understand that. So maybe you're not the person that's going to put your body on the line. Maybe you're not a person who's going to stand on the front line to get pepper sprayed by ICE. Mind you, there's lawsuits against these First Amendment violations of what they're doing with, how they're treating protesters. But there are a lot of people who are resisting. And I forget where it was that I saw something about some percentage. It's a small percentage of the population has to resist in order to stop fascism.
It's always a small percent.
You know, have you heard this percentage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't remember the percentage, but I think it's from the I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. I think she's from the Philippines, but she talked about this. I mean, but even during the civil rights movement, people think like 80% of people were resisting or were
3.5% rule. Sorry.
3.5. Yeah, there you go. So you're right. So there are people out there who are doing the work, and we're not saying it isn't serious, but there have been some wins. And you know what, Reecie? Even the folks who even some journalists who have lost their jobs or aren't there anymore, they're still doing great work.
That's true.
Phenomenal work. Although this, Don Lemon, this happened before Trump's second term, but look at the amazing work independent media is doing right now. Look how independent media is finding some connectivity. Jim Acosta doing really great work, right? So even folks where it appear that, this didn't work out, they're out there on these streets having a bigger voice. I mean, Don Lemon is the greatest example of that. He really is. He got the hit early. So look at us on Urban View. Look at Larry Daniel Favors. Look at Karen Hunter. Like, we're still rocking it. So all is not lost.
Yeah.
All is not lost. And there is a loss every day. And the loss every day is also his supporters.
That's true too. That is so true.
They're losing their health care as well. Their rural hospitals being shut down. Their MEMA being impacted. So now, was that going to cause a grand wake-up call? I don't know. Because people still can't get motivated to go to a damn voting booth, or won't vote different. But nonetheless, we are all in this collectively together. So that gives me some hope. Is it bad? Hell yeah, it's bad. But has there been resistance? Absolutely. And also, Reecie, lastly, there's some resistance that is on the low.
That's true too.
Some things you don't know what people, they're moving stealth. You know what I mean? And that can work too. You don't got to always broadcast everything. What do they say? Don't cast your pearls before swine. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that are doing things on the low, and that's cool too.
Yeah,
that's cool too.
And I want to emphasize what you said about look at Urban View, because Beyond the Mic, this is our third year. This is not an election year. This is not a year where you would expect. Now Beyond the Mic is not a strictly political show. It's politics, it's culture, it's community, it's all the things. This is our biggest year yet. We are doing more cities than we've done. We've had bigger venues. We've had bigger events, and we're doing it on our own. And the love is still there, the support is still there. And so there are still ways to thrive without needing permission from somebody, without needing to go through the gatekeepers, with being able to say, in this moment, I have, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's an event that people are interested in. We still have people who are free enough to come to our events, people who are still doing well enough. And for some people, it's a sacrifice, and we appreciate that as well. But the whole point is that there are still opportunities. I'll give one of my best friends as an example. Him and his wife moved out here to the Maryland area. They both got new jobs. They were able to close on their house. And their son is doing fantastic in his new school. So even as there are people who are struggling and trying to figure out a way to pivot, and even as there are really terrible things that are happening in the federal government, there are good things that are happening at the state level, at the local level. There are people who are still finding ways to rebound. And so if you are in that moment where maybe things aren't going right, maybe you've put in 100 applications and you haven't gotten an interview yet, or maybe, things are happening, maybe think about pivoting. Maybe think about, okay, am I being too narrow in what I think my opportunities should be? Especially as Black people, we have a tendency to think that we have to be 10 times qualified before we even apply for something. So maybe instead of saying I need to match 100% of the job recs, maybe look at the ones where you match 50% of them. So definitely understand that this is a season. This season, I don't know how it will pass, and it'll be something else. It might be worse for the country for a while, but we are starting to get to the point where we can pivot, we can persevere through what's happening. And I know that sounds cliche, but we see tangible examples of it every day. So if that's not you yet, it is coming.
Without a doubt. I want to shout out somebody who's running for senator in Maine. His name is Graham Planter. And he recently went viral, I guess, during a campaign stop. And I want you to hear a bit of what this Maine senator said. Listen to this.
So what's your plan for the illegals that are in this state that get free benefits?
They don't.
If you listen to what she was saying, just hear me out. If you listen to what she was saying, at its core, she's angry about the exact same things you are. People are propagandized, people are misinformed, but people are not stupid. And we shouldn't treat them as such. People are angry because they know they're being screwed. They might get lied to, they might get taken in. If somebody robs your neighbor's house, you don't go over there and laugh at them afterwards. They've been taken advantage of. And that's what this is. People are being robbed. They're being robbed of their critical thinking. They're being robbed of their empathy. The answer to that is not shame. The answer to that is not anger. The answer to that is empathy and compassion. Thank you.
Really?
You're not buying it.
Couple of things here. Love to know what y'all talking about. Yes, he's running as a Democrat. He said you don't laugh at somebody when they're robbed. No, I don't. But what if somebody opens up the door wide open, opens the front door, the side door, the back door, and says, come on in and take whatever you want. And then they're in shock when they take whatever they want. What if it's that? And I also don't totally buy the idea that people are brainwashed, whatever the language he was using, they're taken advantage of. I don't buy that completely. Some people who are vulnerable, yeah, some. But this is not brand new. Folks have been voting against humanity for a very long time. Was the Confederacy brainwashed? Was the Jim Crow movement, was that brainwashed? I don't know about that. I think it's too much of a cop out. I get what he's trying to do. Kumbaya, us all come together. I think a little, I'm not a politician. I think a little bit of shame works, actually. I really do. And I think Democrats might need to consider using a little bit of shame. If you're deep in ignorance, if you can't see what's in front of you, and you argue against who you are, or you argue to harm other people, what does that mean? So yeah, it's very and at the end of the day, Reece, I've been on this, I'm looking at the voter. Okay, maybe well, so and so didn't come to my door and tell me to vote for them. Okay, cool, whatever. But I don't know if this is going to be the great selling point for Democrats. I can recall when Hillary Clinton apologized for saying deplorables. She should have never apologized. She should have said, I'm not going to apologize for saying that, considering that my opponent has insulted prisoners of war. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If you're supporting this bullshit, you are in that, because she said there's two groups. One group that's just deplorable, and the other group, she said something else. But yeah, I'm not always I feel like Democrats really coddle these, they're just voters that just got taken advantage of. I don't think so. I don't think they were brainwashed, because if you're brainwashed, that makes you a victim. And there are some people, their house is being robbed, and they don't think their house is being robbed. There are some people that just throw in their belongings out of the house and say, take it.
Right.
So I don't know, Reece. I kind of paused when I heard that. What'd you think?
Well, I guess it depends on who he's talking about, because I do absolutely believe that there are people who are being brainwashed, who are being programmed. I've been saying that for years, and I agree that for some people, it's not that they're just stupid. It's not that these people all coincidentally came up to this fucked up conclusion that X, Y, and Z is happening. There's been a very deliberate, multi-pronged assault on people's sensibilities. You have Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, who were trafficking migrants to blue cities, Black areas, to sow division, to sow discontent. And then now those same motherfuckers are saying, we're going to send the National Guard to get the people that we trafficked to these cities. The reason why there are tens of thousands of migrants in Chicago is because they were trafficked from Texas. That's why they're there. Last I checked, Chicago does not border Venezuela. Okay? So they traffic these people there, and then they use that as the reason to invade another state. Now, they haven't, I believe last I checked, they're stationed in Indiana, which is another red state. They haven't been able to enter into Chicago because of the lawsuits and stuff. But my whole point is that this is an all-out, no stone unturned assault on our society and what people believe and the reality that they're experiencing. And it has been happening for many, many, many years. And it happens in such a way that it's not as heavy-handed. It's not as easy to detect because maybe you are impervious to it, So I think there's a difference between those people who saw things happening in their communities and they were like, we got to do something about this, and people who are just downright hateful. I saw Kay Jordan said whiteness is propaganda. There's a difference between people who are standing in the white delusion that white people are supreme, that white people should be the overseers and the only ones who get opportunities in this country, and anybody else that gets anything is an affront and an assault on white people's place in this country. So I think there are two different kinds of people. But the problem is that if you are a Democrat, or if Democrats recognize that there are people who are brainwashed, what the fuck are you doing about it? Having town halls and knocking on doors is not enough. Beto tried that. How many? Beto went to every county, every city. Same thing with Stacey Abrams. She's been to everywhere. You cannot just only think that having these kinds of town halls or having these kind of conversations is enough. There has to be a massive, massive infrastructure and investment in countering the brainwashing and the propaganda and the disinformation and the misinformation. And there has to be a strategy around this as well. The way that Republicans had strategies in trafficking migrants to Martha's Vineyard, to dropping them off at the Naval Observatory when Kamala was the VP, dropping them off and trafficking them to New York City. And the whole time I'm like, well, what the fuck is the Biden-Harris administration doing about this? And they did shit. They did jack shit the entire time. So we have to understand not just how people feel, but what are we going to do about it? And Republicans are good at making people feel away and then harnessing that energy. And Democrats are not good at those things.
You know, I'm with you for the most part, but I just want to know were they brainwashed before Trump? Were they brainwashed with George Bush when he threw us into an unnecessary war and was already gutting the economy before he was reelected? I mean, were they brainwashed with the second term of Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
Like, this is the hate that Republicans created.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Never forget that Ronald Reagan runs 2 terms and his vice president wins in 1988. That's only happened a handful of times in history where a president runs 2 terms, then their vice president wins. It's very hard to do that. So what was the point of, when did this base become brainwashed? So I guess I struggle with, and as far as fighting back against it, I more so, and I think you've said this before too, I want to know how they're going to invigorate the base versus trying to convince the brainwashed Republican Liz Cheney voter. That's I think where I am. That felt like we're going to try to get the crossover voter. And I'm like, nah, it didn't happen with Obama. Let me tell you what really pissed people off about Obama. That Obama in 2012, for the first time in modern history, the black vote, the first time, not even modern, ever, the black voter turnout rate surpassed the white voter turnout rate. And Obama won. That's what freaked them out. More than 2008. For the first time ever. That hasn't happened again, obviously. And so that's what I would think you would want to try and do. Maybe it's too hard to do that. Obama was a certain kind of candidate. Obama had receipts, whatever the case may be. But I just want to know, at what point, because I keep hearing these folks saying, oh, they're brainwashed and almost like they're victims. Well, at what point did the Republican Party become the brainwashed party? And at one point were they not brainwashed? Because Trump is terrible, but policy-wise, I mean, he is breaking the Constitution and all that. Reagan didn't do all that, but policies that have been passed, that's went through, not executive orders, that's gone through Congress, it's very similar to other GOP presidents. So I just want to know, at what point did the brainwashing start?
But I think that is assuming, that's limiting the conversation to Republicans. I'm not interested in Republicans. I'm not interested in converting them. I'm not interested in MAGA. There were 89 million people who did not vote in this past election. And that's a presidential election. Okay. By the way, Miss Lisa said that they've stopped her Cash App payment. So that means people must have been hooking Miss Lisa up. So
really?
Miss Lisa, if you have something else, she's in the comments.
So
if you have something else that people can use, then let us know.
Wait, Lisa's on the line. Let's bring her on really quick.
Okay.
Lisa, you called in. What's up, Lisa? They stopped your Cash App?
Hey, Clay, I'm texting you right now. I was texting you. Yeah, I'm texting you right now. Yeah, they stopped my Cash App. They said I received too many for today, and I can't get all those people that are getting transactions sent back. They have to wait 24 hours now to send them to me tomorrow. And
I didn't know they could stop Cash App.
Yeah, if you get too much, they could do that.
Wow. Oh, with the exonerees, this happens as well.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I hope you got some support. Lisa, that's a blessing, right?
And y'all, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to get through this. But I know I'm not the only one suffering at this point with everything going on. Y'all, I have bipolar. I'm a manic depressive. I have PTSD. I was already diagnosed with that. My faith has wavered to the point it has just wavered. I know there's a God, but at this point, I'm wondering where is he at?
I hear you. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is a long time Urban View listener, and she's been struggling with health issues for a while. And she calls in every once in a while, and we check up on her. And we gave her Cash App over these airwaves in the first hour. And Miss Lisa, I hear you. And I think sometimes when we have that kind of grief, I think it's okay to lean into it. It's okay to cry it out. Get it out of your system. We can't always be strong. We can't always be magical. We can't be a superhero, right? So I'm just happy that we have this space here at Urban View for you to have this kind of community. You know, this is what will sustain us, community. Don't let them take what they can't touch. I say it in Burn Down Master's House. Pre-order it now. Don't let them take what they can't touch. So I'm just happy you got some support this day. That's a blessing. Let's lean into the blessing of today that you called in and you randomly, I said, let's get your Cash App information and we helping you out. So I appreciate you. Miss Lisa, do you have, folks are in the comments, do you have Zelle or Venmo?
Or PayPal?
PayPal? Do you have Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal?
Venmo, Clay. I'm going to try to set up a Venmo, okay?
Okay, set up a Venmo. Team, put her on hold, Miss Lisa, and try and get her email rather. And when you get the Venmo, I didn't know Cash App did that, so I appreciate.
Yeah, Cash App could be a little funny sometimes.
Wow,
yeah,
that's oh, y'all are so amazing. Urban View, y'all are so amazing. Y'all are so kind. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Go ahead, Reecie. I'm sorry.
No, that was important. That was important to make sure we got her a chance to tell people so that people could write it down in 24 hours, try again. Or if she can get her Venmo set up. So what I was trying to say is, I don't care about converting Republicans. I actually think that Democrats spend way too much time trying to get the never Trumpers, trying to get the Republicans. That is not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze, right? So there were 89 million people who didn't vote in 2024. And there were 8 million Biden voters that stayed home.
Yeah.
Now you could say they sexist and racist and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But let's go back to 2016. And there was all this reporting that came out during the 2020 elections about Cambridge Analytica. So what Republicans have done is Republicans have the voter information of pretty much the entire fucking country. Okay. And so they have people in their database marked as persuasion. They have people who are marked as, reliable Republican voters. And then they have people who are marked as dissuasion. So when it comes to the dissuasion, that's tens of millions of people, predominantly Black people or people of color, people who are not their demographic, that are marked as dissuasion. So best case scenario is that they can dissuade people from they can not only just dissuade those dissuadables, but they would actually convert them. But their goal is not to convert the dissuasion group. Their goal is to make those people so disillusioned that they just don't vote at all. And so that is brainwashing. That is propaganda. That is a deliberate campaign that targets tens of millions of people in this country. Not just every election cycle. They do this every single day in and day out, of feeding people information or misinformation, disinformation that will make them not want to believe in the process. And so there's that aspect of the information that's fed to us. And then again, there's that aspect of physical things that they do, policy that they implement that is put in place to dissuade people. And so that is the real fight. The real fight is the dissuasion campaign. That's the real fight. You got the vote blue no matter who, you got the vote MAGA no matter who. The dissuasion part is really what you have to break through those people. So it's not a matter of these people have to wake up. These people are fed, they are targeted with laser-like precision with information that makes them not believe in the system, makes them believe the system doesn't work. Part of that was with Kamala Harris, with trying to convince people that Kamala Harris doesn't claim Black. That campaign never stopped. That was the number one thing that she was attacked on, not her Medicare for all position, not her other positions, nothing policy-wise. The number one thing she was attacked on was her race and trying to make it seem like she wasn't Black to dissuade people from supporting her. Because as you pointed out, Clay, President Barack Obama was the first time that Black voter turnout matched white voter turnout. So surpassed.
Yeah.
So Republicans are playing a multi-pronged game. Democrats only play a conversion game, really. They always trying to convert that slither of, oh, we think these white women in yoga pants, suburban moms don't like Trump because he said grab them by the pussy. Or are they trying to take away abortion rights? They play small ball. And Republicans are playing the decathlon. They competing in every goddamn sport. So I think that he's kind of on the right track and recognizing that there is brainwashing. Now, are you putting that energy towards trying to unbrainwash the dissuadables, or are you putting that energy to try to convert Republicans? Because if you put that energy to try to convert Republicans, that's a waste of time, in my view.
Well said. Let's go over to is it Lilia from Texas? You there? I hear you. No, okay. Sorry about that. Let's go to
hold on, Amber. We have to call out Amber's comment. Republicans invest in winning. Democrats hope that free labor will do that work. That is 100% true. You know how many emails that I get? Oh, you're invited to this virtual call with this person. I don't want to sit up on a motherfucking call with your ass. Bring your ass on our shows. Talk to the people. What is all these backroom calls supposed to do? You guys, you don't see the airwaves flooded with Democrats. We have a fucking phone call line where anybody, SiriusXM Urban View has 12 hours of live call-in programming. Bring your ass on the airline, on the phone. We offer an opportunity for people to come on and be face-to-face with us on Zoom. Bring your ass. Stop trying to fucking set up these meetings. And I get invited to all of these Zoom calls. I have no interest in carrying water. I have no interest in doing that. If you want to send a message, bring your ass.
Yeah.
But it does not benefit me to sit on a call and you're fucking humoring me for an hour, when in that hour you could have done 5 hits on local radio, on international radio, on TV. The priorities are fucked up, but it's because Democrats think, oh, okay, we're going to activate a select group of people, and then those people are going to do all the heavy lifting. Get your ass out on the radio and on TV and in these town halls and all of the above, not just virtual calls or whatever the fuck. That's the problem. I'm not saying you can't do that, but when you're only doing that, when you only think that you have to, you're just going to outsource the messaging or outsource the labor of spreading the message to people, that's not enough. And I'm sorry, social media influencers is not enough either. There are people who have 1 million followers, 600,000 followers who can't even fill a broom closet. So if they can't even fill a broom closet, how the fuck are those people going to get people out to vote? I'm saying it's not that they aren't valuable. Their messages are valuable. You need them as well. But you have people who will sit down with every influencer under the sun, and they won't bring their ass on Urban View that has 3 million listeners, that if you call in on Urban View and you say, I'm struggling, and we give a cash app, Cash App is going to shut you down because so many people have immediately activated.
That's right.
That's the power of this Urban View audience. We have sold out shows in one show. Everybody that comes on our show says, "Oh my God, I got messages, I got emails, my sales shot up." That's the power of this audience. And yet you will see 20 people with influencers, and it's no shade. Again, they do the important work. It's an all of the above approach. But you won't see them come to a powerful, engaged audience like Urban View. You will see Donald Trump's ass, Stephen Miller's ass. I don't watch them right-wing news shit, but you see them on OAN. You see them on Fox News all day.
Those random podcasts.
Yeah,
podcasts. Random podcasts. Those random right-wing podcasts. Yeah, I mean, listen. Joe Madison would say it. We're oftentimes undervalued, underestimated. But it's all good. It's not, listen, it's all good. But you're right. That's how you really invest in a, I don't like the word left wing or liberal, whatever the hell it is, on a forward-thinking media infrastructure.
That's right. That's right. And planning about people not coming on here for my benefit. We popping. Like, we got 500 people in Houston. We got sold out show in barely. We good. It's not us. People are gonna tune in. If we talking about frying chicken or talking about motherfucking government shutdown, people are gonna tune in. We good. You've been on this airwaves for over 1,000 episodes, years. I'm in year 300.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's not, Reecie and Clay are mad about It ain't nothing about that. No. I'm just saying is, if you want to have an impact, and I made this comment on Threads, people focus so much on fame and so much on followers and so-called reach and not enough on impact. If you want to have an impact, then you go to the people who make a motherfucking impact. That's what you do.
Let's go to a call, then we have to go to a break. Maybell from Virginia, first-time caller. What's up, Maybell?
Hi, Clay. Hi, Reecie. It's Mabel, Mabl.
Oh, Mabel. I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. Thank you. I just had to call because when the caller, Lisa, called in and was, letting us know what issues she was going through, I was thinking, wow, I wish I knew her Cash App, PayPal, or something so that I could send a donation. And Clay, you came through. You must have known. I was thinking, this is when the village comes in. This is the village. We are the village. And when people call in like that and it hits your heart and your soul and you want to do what you can to help, it's amazing that you did that for her. And I heard her call back in and say that her Cash App had been, stopped for today. I was going to say I had tried to donate, but it didn't go through because I knew everybody was trying to send a donation. It just made my day. I just wanted to let you all know that I listen to you every day. I listen to Urban View all day. In my car, in my office, it's always Urban View because you all give me all the news that I need. So I just want to say thank you for what you do. Thank you so much for what you did for Miss Lisa. Thank you for what you do for the exonerated. I donate to those sometimes, when I listen to that. And you're helping so many people. And I just want to say thank you. It just touched my soul so much to start my day. And I just wanted to let you all know that.
Well, thank you for listening. I mean, I don't even know what to say. And I rarely say that on the radio. I just say thank you for listening. I'm going to repeat myself, as I said a while ago, that this is what's going to maintain us.
Yes.
This kind of community. And the great thing is, unlike folks before us, we have more outlets. We have radio. We have YouTube. What's up, YouTube? We have social media. We have live callers. We're not a podcast. We're a live radio call-in radio show.
Yes.
A podcast are great. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
no shade.
Immediate feedback. That's what it's about. And so that means a lot to me. And I'm glad that brought people's spirits up. That's beautiful to hear too, because it brings joy when you can help somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's beautiful. And every I know sometimes y'all listen, every politician or their staff that heard that moment, that's why you should come on shows like this. Come on shows like BC's or The Queen, Miss Karen Hunter, or other, even outside of urban, because this is what we do. And we've been able to foster community. And so, Miss Lisa, we got you prayed up. I know you had a rough day today, but I hope you feel the love. This is an audience that really, really cares. Really, really cares. Listen, we are going to continue on these airwaves. Y'all have
Can
to
I just say one super quick thing?
please.
Super quick.
Oh, sure.
This is an audience that cares. It's a community cares, and it's a community that puts their money and their action where their mouth is. Because some you always say, well, we got to build our own. We got to do our own. What just happened with Miss Lisa is proof that this audience doesn't just sell wolf tickets and doesn't just say that, but they really mean it. And that's what it looks like. Building our own and supporting our own. Nanette says, K Nubian Rent Party. This is what it looks like. That's why this audience has the credibility and put some respect on the Urban View audience and community.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, let's head to a break. Reecie and I are still going to be rocking until 3 o'clock. We're doing a full 3 hours today, y'all. Reecie going to be on for the entire time. So stay on the line. All the lines are lit. Appreciate it. We'll rock some calls. There's more topics to get to. But Reecie, you want to talk to the folks? You want to stay on and talk for a minute?
Yeah, I'll talk to them. Yeah, till we go to till we come back from break. Yeah.
Clay Kane Show. Head into a break. Be right back.
You're listening to the Clay Kane Show.
Okay, Vondale says early voting is open in Virginia. About to hit the voting booth before I head to work. Yes, Vondale. Thank you for saying that. Early voting is happening in Virginia. Nike, Tim, is early voting happening in New Jersey as well? I know that there's an election in New Jersey. I wasn't sure if early voting is happening there. I know that I've been seeing some stuff about Tennessee. There's a special election in Tennessee. I don't know if voting has ended for that already. But yeah, definitely. If you are in a position to vote, bring a friend, tell somebody else, get your ass out and vote. Okay. Because best believe that, somebody said so. I'll get to that in a second. Best believe that Republicans are looking at not just who wins, but the margins of these victories, or if they happen to win, the margin of their victories with these special elections. So it's important to show force with these votes. Oh, okay. Denise says, yes, there's a special voting in Tennessee today. Okay, so get out and vote. Oh, there's an election in New Orleans Saturday for mayor. Get your ass out and vote. Okay? Get your ass out and vote. It's so important. It's so important because if the numbers are down, if the participation is down, that signals to Republican who gonna check me, boo. Well, people ain't up in arms. And there have been a million things to be up in arms about by now. Okay. And so if this ain't done it yet, then that's a problem. Lady K says, make it too big to rig. Absolutely. Absolutely. California must vote for Prop 50. So is that special? Is that happening right now, Philly lady? Let me know. Yeah. Durham, voting in Durham. Look at this. Everybody. Oh, whiskey, sticks, and politics. I like that. Let me look you up on YouTube. Is that a podcast? Is that a YouTube channel? Let's see. Show these WEIs. We not played. Yes. Okay, I gotta go. Bye, y'all.